Hello, my name is Will. This is a review and a discussion of Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. So this is the first book in a planned trilogy, the Dark Star trilogy. Not only is it beautiful, epic, sweeping fantasy that ties together history, myths and legends of many other cultures and black history, it just brings them together beautifully. What I love about it is that it's a very political fantasy. Its nearest relative is Game of Thrones, so it has this kind of political undertone where everything going on is through the eyes of the warring people and the relationships of people, and it's a gorgeous book. And I mean that. It's an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous book, and that's the only way I can put it. It builds the tensions between two warring states and various city-states and tribes in the surrounding landscape. The film rights have also been bought of this, and I think that would be spectacular. This book caused a bit of a stink, especially on Goodreads, where it has a measly rating of 3.50 or 3.5 stars, average. Now this is where I'm going to start my discussion. An internet friend pointed out something on Twitter to me. It was marketed for its diversity, thus the YA community picked up on it, as it's meant to be read diversely. So a lot of people who don't read adult fantasy, as well as having a particular idea of how gay men should be represented, reviewed it. And that's very true. When you go on Goodreads and look at the book reviews, and I always look at negative reviews and then I look at what they also read, I think people were expecting this to be quite a soft YA fantasy, and I think a lot of people picked it up for its diversity browning points, which annoys me because it doesn't always work that way. So a lot of people are like, oh, this is diverse, I'm going to pick it up, but it doesn't fit the gatekeeping that you see within the book community's idea of diversity, because not all representation has to be positive. You can have people who are diverse but are negative people. It's a simple little fact. This book caused a lot of stink for that reason, and I think really it was the wrong people reviewing it. This book is adult fantasy, and the adult fantasy fans, like myself, raved about it, where the more YA fans didn't. This book is just a gorgeous piece of work. There is absolutely no way around it, and I think it's really unfair that it was marketed poorly. I want to say that, like it was marketed on its diversity, and that's not how you market a book. Politicizing a book is not how you market it at all. It's just a stunning book, full stop. I mean, the use of language in this is amazing. It's gorgeous. I think people wanted I think a lot of the people that read it, the brownie points readers, as I'm going to call them, who are looking for the white middle class, and I'm generalising here, and it's not true, but there is a stereotype of this sort of gatekeeping within the community, and I've talked about it before. A lot of these people who bang on about diversity and how it should be and how it shouldn't be are white, heterosexual women, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if you don't fit that idea of how it should be, books tend to get maliged and tend to get attacked by people rather than actually discussed. This book is a 5 out of 5 for me, it always has been, and I think it's just a tragedy that it ended up. There's nothing worse than a Goodreads mob. And a lot of the people, I've seen reviews of this, like, I'm so glad I didn't read it. I'm not kidding. I saw reviews where people were proud they didn't read it and they weren't. And I'm like, if you've not read it, you can't really review it. I think if you've not read a book, you can't have an opinion on it. That's just my opinion, though. But anyway, tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me if you've read it, what did you think? Recommend any books. And I want to say there's a lot of new people coming to my channel, so thank you, and talk to you later.